Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Aaron of Immortal Rising. How you doing?
What's up? What's up, guys? What's up, John? Thanks for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Like I say to everybody, I love talking to people about comics. I love talking to fans. I love talking to creators. Doesn't matter, you know.
Heck yeah.
Famous, not famous. I just like talking comics with people. Big old nerd. Hey, you know, Brian Suddenly Old, and hello, old dirty fatty. Good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up. So it looks like the topic du jour of this week is promotion and helping everybody out. That seems to be the my opinion is am I promoting? I just want to talk to people about comic books. I guess promoting is the secondary thing. You got a comic book, you're passionate about comic. Let's talk. So I guess I mean, pro promotion, but nobody's
Yeah, right. No, I don't think anybody's owed it. But I do like to reciprocate. I like people coming on my show, and I don't always get on other people's show. Like I had to ask you. I was like, hey, can I come on? So.
Oh, it's nothing personal. This is going to sound terribly arrogant. I don't mean it to be, but a lot of people have been asking, and sometimes I just right now's not a good time. Remind me again in a week, and I guess they think like, oh man, if I say that, if anybody, that just if I say right now's not a good time, remind me in a week. I mean that. I mean that all sincerely. Don't take that as a no.
Right.
Things are going really good for me. I'm getting a lot of requests. And believe it or not, I'm like booked up for like 3 weeks. So if I I try not to book more than that because I don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what's going on at work, and I'd hate to have to reschedule.
Yeah.
So this goes out to anybody. If I say, yeah, remind me in a week or so, that's not me blowing you off. That's just life getting in the way. So I don't know if you were one of those people that asked, and I said, remind me.
No, actually, I hit you up a few weeks ago, and you were like, how about this day? And I was like, okay, that works.
Oh, cool.
No, it worked out really well. Yeah, and actually, I've had a problem with like time and stuff like that, and so like I started to pre-record all my shows, and it worked out pretty well. But because like I switched up formats, I started doing trivia and then talking about the creators' products and stuff like that. But I think what I want to try doing is just do readings and reviews of indie books.
Okay.
So I've got a couple stacks. I got stacks.
What do you got?
Well, right here on top, I've got Lumina Vox.
That was great.
The artist of my book, Immortal Rising. I got that.
Oh, really? Here. He was on my channel a month or two ago. What a great guy.
Red Eyes 1, 2, and 3 that I was reading through. Let's see. Yeah, a bunch of Jose stuff right here that I'm about to start getting into. But this is probably my favorite of Jose's stuff. It's mine.
I said Jose's artwork. Him and Sergio Aragones. I don't know if you're familiar with him, the guy who did Gru the Wanderer.
Oh yeah,
Their work is almost self-animating. Like they create this illusion that it just seems like everything's moving. He's so animated.
What I love, one of the things I love is some of the reviews that I've gotten back is people will say that it looks like it's an animation. It looks like it's already a cartoon. I'm like, yeah, I agree. It's gorgeous and it's really fun to read. So
he was a great guy to talk. I wish we were talking about the Mexican comic book market. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
because you think all the comic book markets are the same. Different comics that I'd never heard of. It was really cool talking to him.
Well,
and this, come on back whenever you want.
And he actually, as far as I understand, he runs like a drawing course or like a school, and down in Mexico, and it's like maybe he's contributing to the Mexican art explosion. I don't know.
Yeah, very talented guy. Yeah,
he's super cool. Anyways, I met him probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, when we first started working together. And this whole brand is just kind of taking slow baby steps to really develop and become what it is. So, and I'm excited because I'm looking forward to what it's gonna be. Like I keep that in my mind of all the things that I want to.
Let's start at the beginning before we get out in the weeds. You are making a comic called Immortal Rising.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Do you have a campaign live right now?
Yes, on Fund My Comic. It's just a storefront.
Okay.
I crowdfunded it back in spring and fulfilled I guess probably sometime at the end of fall or at the beginning of fall, something like that. So yeah, and then this is just kind of like my remaining stock that I want to sell, because
Okay.
I have a whole box that I want to sell like at conventions and stuff. So that's why there's a limited number up there. So, and of course, unless
Okay,
the
so
person
your
wants
campaign was successful, and now this is a storefront to sell. You overprinted, when I make my
yeah,
comic, I'm going to
yeah,
overprint, because that would just be so sad to me, to people like, I wanted to get into your comic, but I couldn't get the first issue.
yeah, exactly. Well, and not only that, but I wanted to have extras, like I said, because I wanted to have physicals to take. And so I was really lucky enough that I got funded well enough that I could get like double what I was going to,
Could you
So
scroll up and down on the screen? I can't control that.
yes, 1 second.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, let's check it out. So
Yeah. So you went to conventions? And
I haven't yet. That's what
okay, I was going to ask you about that.
trying to get up to do. So and it's kind of ironic or whatever, serendipitous, that I actually work with a guy who is friends with the local promoter of the conventions, that it does like 3 or 4 state radius. So
Where's local for you? Where do you live?
the Midwest. I'm in Illinois, Iowa area. So
okay, cool. I'm in New York. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what that accent is. Got it.
I was trying to place your accent, but you speak like perfect English. Like
whoa.
You know what I mean? Like I hear your voice, and it's just like, that's like, they always say, for radio announcers, they always want to get like a Nebraska accent, and I was like, you have that radio voice.
Yeah, that
you and
middle of the road.
You and Joe Sontag should have a podcast together. That would be like the two voices.
Right. Yeah, I know we sound a lot alike. I was on a show like over the summer or something, and I was like, I almost felt like I was hearing myself. And the funny thing about Sontag is I think he lives like an hour from me. So
really?
Perfect. Yeah, it makes like perfect sense. So yeah, he's a really cool guy. That's one of the things that
everybody in this group has been wonderful.
That's one of the things that I want to change my format of my show, because basically what I want to do is thank you, General Piggy. I appreciate it. Anyways, what's that? Tweet out your campaign. Whoa, thank you, EVS. Jeez, thanks, Forrest.
EVS has been nothing but a gentleman to me. So like, I
haven't interacted with him. I saw that he was on your show. He's kind of retweeted me before, but not like a lot or nothing.
He came on my show, and then people like trying to ask me to like say mean things about them. I'm like, why?
Why?
Why? And EVS is a showman. He just likes to create drama. Whoa, what is this?
Nice.
Wow, thank you, ASE. Oh, this is my
Thank you, ASE. I appreciate it.
I get a little embarrassed. I never know what to say. I backed Immortal Rising after finding out about it. I'm really excited to read and review it based on the idea, the art. So thank you for putting out the work. Yes. What could I say about Jose Garcia that I haven't already said? The guy is phenomenal. he's like I said, I put him in a group with Sergio Aragonis, which is an elite group of cartoonist comic book artists.
I think that he's flying under the radar right now. And what's kind of funny is that's kind of the whole story of Immortal Rising right now, is like, when I first launched, I had tried reaching out to different places and stuff, and then somebody tagged Bancroft like 2 days after I started, or second day after I started, tagged Bancroft on a post that I did, an ad post that I made. And I was like, oh, you got to get him on your show. And then he was like, oh, shit, you sent me a DM asking to launch on my show. And he's like, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was like, totally understandable. He's like, this thing is flying under the radar. He's like, yes, it really is. And it's very unfortunate. What's that?
Bancroft. He's another gentleman. He's been on my channel. I do a joint show called Comic Team Up with RJ of the Fourth.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I said, I always laugh when people like call us the independent guys, the Comics Geek guys, the bad guys.
Right. He's actually all right. So Jose, kind of a side story. I had Immortal Rising #1 done by a different artist originally, and then I met Jose, and I was like, "Hey, Jose, will you redo issue 1 for me or whatever?" But anyways, I tried selling issue 1 on Kickstarter, before I knew about Confiscate or anything like that. And I'm like, it went nowhere. It was like $300 or something like that. And so I was like, dude, Jose, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know how am I supposed to really get any attractions around here. And he's like, well, there's an indie comic scene called Confiscate, and go check out Bancroft. He's like, oh, it's my favorite show. So I went and I checked it out, and I was like, this is my favorite show now too. It's very upbeat, and everybody's having a good time. And
he made a name for himself just promoting and showing off other people's work. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
My artist is Renzo Rodriguez. He's been showing off Renzo's work. What a
cool. Yeah. Renzo's a cool dude. I tried getting him on mine, but it was like, hey, I've got Saturdays free. And I was like, I don't. So we never really hooked up since.
So you're the writer.
Yes, I am the writer. Yes, sir. And actually, I guess we could talk about my book a little bit. Sure. Immortal Rising is actually 2 stories in one. We've got, if you think of the Clash of the Titans, where you can see like the main story is like the guy on the ground, and then the side story is the point of view of the gods. So it's like you get to see the full picture from, like, if you think of like tabletop games levels and stuff, or where it's like level 1 guys, that's the main story. That's who we're looking at now, is like the level 1 party. And then on the other side of it is the level 30 gods, and they're all battling it out and stuff like that. So a lot of it's like positioning right now because it's real early in the story.
I got to ask, are you a role player? Are you a D&D guy?
Oh yeah, big time. Actually, a lot of this is based on my table game that's been going on for like 30 years or whatever. However long it's been.
What's your system of choice?
Well, so originally we did 2nd edition, and my players at the time, for like probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 years or whatever it was, it's like, come on, Aaron, let's change to 3.5. I've got all these books. Let's play some 3.5. It's a better system, blah, blah. Eventually we got to the point in the story that where it was like, yeah, let's try a new campaign, or let's try a new edition. I was like, so we've switched to 3.5, and we've been playing 3.5 for like 15 years now. So
did you bring the same characters, or did you have to start all over again when you switched editions?
Well, so we basically retired because we got
I can't do these guys are 2nd edition guys. They're not going to the 3rd edition.
Right.
Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, and
it took a lot. It took a lot to convince me, until finally I was like, yeah, all right, I'll try a new. And then I'm like, wow, this is really good. I like it a lot. So
I never made it to 3rd edition. I stopped Dungeons and Dragons at Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there are things about it that I prefer over 3.5, but as just as like table, for the whole table, they all prefer the 3.5. And I think the worst part of it is there's so many books and so many things that you can choose through. You have to use the internet to kind of like find your job tree and all.
Dungeons and Dragons, I think they purposely keep it flawed so that you constantly have to buy patches. Just think of it as a video game that's not, that you got to buy downloadable content.
I think you're right. Yeah, and then so also this Christmas, my 8-year-old son, he's actually played with us a couple of times.
That's gotta be cool.
Which
are you the
crazy.
DM or are you a player?
I both. I'm the main DM, but we kind of switch around every now and again. Once somebody does an adventure or a party or a campaign and they're done, then we'll say, okay, who wants to DM now? If nobody has ideas, it always resorts back to me. So, but yeah, it's cool that he's into it. Like, I didn't even get interested in D&D until I was I was introduced to me at 10 by my brother, and then I couldn't even really understand what I was looking at until I was like 11 or 12. Or 12 or 13. And but my son, he's just like, yeah, I want to play a cleric, and he just opens up the books and starts reading it. And I was like, dang, son, okay, good for you, because that's better comprehension than I had at your age.
Well, he grew up watching you play, or
he grew up around it. Yeah, that's true.
Plus, it's at a high. Dungeons & Dragons, it peaks and valleys. Right now, it's at a high peak.
It is, thankfully. I'm glad. I was really hoping with the Dungeons and Dragons movie and the new Wizard of the Coast stuff that was coming out. I was like, yeah, here goes new sword and sorcery push in the culture. And then WotC shot themselves in the foot and pissed off all of their third party, game creators. And like, I mean, I do think that the last D&D movie was good.
I watched
Honor
it.
Among Thieves.
I have to say I had low expectations.
Yeah.
And I came out of it going, that was good. I could see my characters doing stupid stuff like that, and it's funny because I found myself going, oh, he just did a critical fumble. Okay,
yeah. It's funny because my son was calling out the spells when he saw a spell. He'd be like, oh, that's time stop.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I watched it by myself.
Yeah. Oh, look at this page. This is one of my favorite. All of those airships just in a row. I mean, the detail on that is so great.
He's phenomenal.
And one of the things I like that he did, and it's in the story and everything, but the way that he conveyed it was right on. Was at the beginning, it's bright and kind of happy in a way, and then slowly over the course of the book, it's nighttime, and shit's dangerous and stuff like that. So you can really feel it as you read through it. So, oh, thank you, John.
Yes. Yeah, John. I had an hour chat with Jose Garcia, the artist for this. Phenomenal guy, very talented. I mean, look at that. Like I could almost see those trees moving from like a breeze. He's. I don't know what he does, what he puts into the ink. He does.
Right.
But
I think it's dangerous that he's talked about doing like a draw stream. I think that would be dangerous to show everybody how he does it. I don't know if I like that. Like, no. Keep your secrets. Do
you send him
that right
scripts?
there? What's that?
Do you send him full scripts?
Yes. And actually he has a script right now that we've kind of messed around with, haven't done much with yet. He did some character designs for it, but it's a in my world, Dracula ruled the world for like 1,000 years or something like that, and was defeated by this divine warrior kind of stuff. And I wanted to tell that story because it's this guy who comes out of nowhere and he has to face off against Dracula. This isn't the first time he fought him or where it has to face him. The first time Dracula kicks his ass and curses him, to be somewhere. Well, then this, not to give too much away, then this witch finds a way to free him of his curse and kind of empowers him to go try to defeat Dracula once and for all. So it's going to be really cool because Jose's art drawing a Dracula fight. I'm excited just talking about it.
Yeah, he has like a wonderful blend of manga and like a sword and sorcery look.
Dude, it's like anime had a child with manga, and all, it's all animation cells, so here we go.
Yeah.
This is the Knights of Locutus. This is the cover to. It's 10 pages. This is the second story. It's in the same book, but this is the second story with the gods in it. So I'll show you some of this stuff. Now, the actual page is not this white background, and in between the panels and all that. That's actually he did black. He changed it into black, and it's gorgeous. It's even better in black. Black.
I mean,
black colors and all that.
As great as this look, guys, I guarantee you, because I've seen Jose's art, if you've got the book in your hand, up close in your hand, you're going to notice details, and it's going to play tricks on your eyes. You're going to think it's moving. It really is good.
I love that. It's so true. So this panel there, that
is a great panel.
That right there, I would love to put on a shirt as a print. A printed shirt. It would be. It's like that's something that I really want to do. I think I have it cut out.
You got to make like a 70s black light poster.
Whoa, that's a good idea. Yeah,
that
would be super fun.
Yeah, because I think a few people in Comicsgate smoke that stuff. That wacky weed.
Nuh-uh. I don't know.
I just realized. Get Aaron, Marcus. He says, get Aaron's comic here, and then he puts my Substack, which is great. Sign up to my Substack so I could get an email list going for my comic. But we want to promote this instead.
I've heard about Substack. What is that exactly? Do you know? I mean, obviously, I don't.
Well, I was told by a few people that it's a good practice to get an email list and then put out like updates. You know, I'm not going to spam anybody. It's just like, hey, I'm doing this with my comic. I'm doing this with my comic. And it's a good gauge to gauge interest. And they say you want to launch when you get like around 200 so I was like, how do I do this? I don't know anything. I'm a dope, you know, so I literally ask for advice every day, and I have to say everybody's been wonderful. And sometimes I express frustration, but it's because I'm a jerk. I don't know what I'm doing. So
I try to, you know,
try Substack. It's free and it's good and it's easy to use. So I went to Substack, made an account, and I collect emails. Again, I'm not going to spam anybody. You know, it's just an email list, like you said, Siege Perilous. Thank you. So and then Luke Stone said when I launched my comic, I could import those to fund my comic. But he also said that he's working on a feature where he could get emails through Fund My Comic, and I don't have to do the Substack stuff because I'm launching on
nice.
Too. Yeah, Luke is always updated. Good guy. Good guy. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Luke Stone is the owner of Fund My Comic. I always feel like I talk like a comic book, like that was the little asterisk on the bottom, you know, to give people context.
Yeah, a little narration. Yeah,
oh, it's just, don't pull a Billy Tucci the emails. Love Billy, but well, you know, I think I'll be the opposite of email because I haven't sent an email yet. I just been collecting emails and I haven't. I don't know what to write. I get a little shy. Like, hi. How you doing?
You're saying Tucci constantly emails out like he spams or something?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. So, you know, it's going to be the exact opposite. Yeah, I know. My wife is teasing me.
Is John even around? He's like, oh, shit, I forgot. I got to do emails.
So these are all your characters. Let's scroll back. I wanted to see their names. I have a thing for fictional names. Drake Hardy.
All right.
Perfectly good name. I kind of drawing I'm not reading it, but I'm kind of picturing his traits just from that name. Immature, brash, and perfect. That's exactly what I thought of when I thought that name. You know,
very nice.
Lorelei Thrace, I can't even read. Calm, pragmatic, and caring. She has finally achieved the greatest goal by becoming a ranger. Okay. Oh, so this is directly inspired by D&D rather.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. We've got like clerics and rangers, and yeah, I don't purposely call it out, but you know, some of them you kind of have to. Like these top two, they you meet them as fresh new recruits in the army. They just made it through ranger school, and they're given their first mission is to escort these two. They're the twin princes of their kingdom, and they have to take them on an escort mission to like go get a boar for a celebration that's coming up. And then while they're out on this, you know, we kind of get to meet them, see their personalities and stuff like that. And that's when you know, the conflict ensues. You know, they get thrown out of their normal world and literally put into another world. And as you know, as a reader, you kind of see how it happened and everything. But to them, it's a complete fucking mystery. Excuse my language. It's a complete mystery, and you know, they have to kind of piece things together. But it's on this new world. It's where they meet Muhammad, who was a cleric, and who the idea of their church is strictly to kill vampires and werewolves and stuff. So and he introduces them to, hey, you're on the world of Terra, and this is what it's like, you know. And for him, it's really odd because he's like, I've never met an elf. What is this? You know, so yeah, it's like, well, five strangers thrust together to put in a survival situation. They have to survive a world full of monsters while a god battle is slowly forming its ranks, kind of thing, and it'll slowly build up to a nice big god battle, hopefully.
Cool. Sounds fun. Yeah. And who is this character?
Here, okay, so this is the Empress of the evil empire, and they are invading the planet Terra, where that cleric Muhammad is from, and that is the trigger event that gets those elves teleported from their elf world onto the more human world, where Muhammad is from.
So it looks like is it a mix of magic and technology?
Oh yeah, Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got high tech and some magic. It's I like to consider it as like if like the dark fantasy of Castlevania meets the epic fantasy of Final Fantasy,
Okay. Okay.
and you know, and like they just mash together and boom, there you go, like chocolate and peanut butter, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because I
But
was like, they got flat screen TVs over there. What spell is that? Oh, it's a flat screen TV.
it's a flat screen. Yeah, and actually, so my second campaign, I will be launching for issue 2. I had Corey Barton do a an alternate or a variant cover for issue 1, and it has her on it. And I wish
Cool.
I could pull it up. I want to be able to show you what that looks like. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Cool. Yeah, we'll pull this down while you're looking for it, just in case anything embarrassing pops up or your address. You know, which has happened, and I've done it to myself. Oh, we got another.
Fair enough.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. I was not expecting that. I'm like, yeah, I'll go on. We'll talk about comics and, you know, talk about my stuff and all that. All right,
so you've been playing the third. So did you get involved in what they call the edition wars? Like the people Pathfinder hated these guys who did 3.5, and I don't even know what is
What's well, I think it's on. I think they call it D&D 1 was what they were gonna put out, and it was supposed to be more. It's supposed to be more digital based, and I don't think a lot of people are into it.
It doesn't sound like it. Once you know, I want my tabletop board games to like. I kind of get mad when my friends bring out their iPhones and they have their character sheets on their iPads. You know, but
stop screening.
What am I going to do? I'm not a tyrant, but and yeah, anybody who's interested, you can see every Thursday I've been posting my role playing games with my buddies out here. My friend Roy has been recording them and then editing down into digestible.
Really?
So yeah, check it out. It's called
great idea.
Is the system that oh wow. Yeah, I've seen this around. That is awesome.
Yeah, I was like, hey Corey, you know, Comicsgate really likes cheesecake. Will you make me a cheesecake cover? And he was like,
everybody but the mainstream Marvel and DC seems to like cheesecake these days.
Oh geez, tell me about it.
And you know what's funny? I you know, when I was in my 20s, I was like the you know, Green Party liberal guy and everything, and I'd be like, wow, that costume is too revealing. And then I got corrected by all the girls. All the girls like, there's nothing wrong with that costume. That's you know, girls seem to like their sexy superheroes just as much as the guys do.
Yeah, I mean,
why not? Try to get you links to Huffle Feeds, a couple. Yeah, Michael Bancroft has been great. I don't know the other two guys, but yeah, thank you. I'll check them out. I don't know Eric Huffles or Felix.
No, I don't know those either. You know what's funny is when I started doing my when I did my campaign back in the spring, I was like, you know, I had already done maybe 100 interviews of Comicsgate people, and then when I actually get out into the bigger ocean from my little pond, I'm like, holy shit! Like, there's a bunch of people out here that I have never seen or met before. And it was really cool. Like, I liked meeting all the new people, making new connections and stuff like that. But it was pretty eye opening. You know, everybody's got their own little circular pond that they like to swim in, but it's all connected in the same ocean. I don't know. Yeah. That metaphor is getting away from me.
I try to back as many people as I can afford, you know. So I you know, but there are people that I miss, and I feel bad because I had Dave Brink on it like last Wednesday, and his comic top 10 looks phenomenal. So I had to go back. That looks amazing.
Perfect 10, yeah. He's like on issue 4.
Yeah, he's like a great guy too.
Yeah.
Who did your colors?
That's all Corey Barton, from my understanding.
Oh, he did it all. That is great. Character sheets should be coffee stained and burnt edges, and you should bring them. Roy, if you're watching this, bring your damn character sheet next time. You forgot you had disintegration rays. That could have helped.
Buddha Bear must be a veteran tabletop player.
Yes,
that's exactly what they look like.
I don't know.
If it doesn't have like a cheese stain or like, you know, from Cheetos or something like that, you're not a real player.
This is the guy who's been using the same screen that kind of is ripped and flopped, and you know his books are. You open it up, it goes right to the attack charts.
Yeah, because that's where he's been so much. Yeah.
If you find the right the mods in my thank you, John. I see. This is what I'm talking about. Guys are so helpful, you know. And this is my moderator, Marcus Kellegrew, great guy. You know, get it.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it.
Yeah. We want to put, you know, Immortal Rising. I thought I did that.
Oh, that was me. Sorry.
I just clicked on a comment and that happened. Rum stains on the couch. Yeah,
Sure.
we don't have rum stains, John. We have Cheeto stains and Funyuns. It's kind of like a running joke in my group whenever we play role-playing games. Somebody has to bring Funyuns because there's nothing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a like. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to jump in chat. I'll give it to you. That's nice.
Well, you brought them. You brought them. Thank you. Yeah, I brought. Yep. Marcus. Marcus is great. I just had to talk with Marcus because the other night I had a schedule with Mandy Summers and she had family obligations that kind of sprung up. So Marcus.
Yeah.
People were. I think Marcus is just as good looking as Mandy, so it worked out.
Yeah, they're like, "Where's Mandy?" But Mandy, well, who's Marcus? That's funny.
And Marcus brought the guns. You see, no wonder he likes the Hulk. If you see the guy, he's built like the Hulk.
Are you serious? Lucky bastard.
Yeah, big muscle. Well, you don't just get like that. We all know what to do to get fit and muscular.
Well, and I've always like I'm probably the biggest I've been. 230 or something like that. But like I just can't seem to like bulk up, like get real big. I'm 6'3", so
wow.
I can hold weight well, I guess. I don't know if that's a thing, but I've never been able to get fucking Hulk big. So congrats. Or like the guy from Reacher. I don't know if you've seen that show.
That guy, yeah, that guy. That they should be making a Conan movie with that guy. What
I said.
Yeah,
Reacher. That's exactly what I was like. First of all, Reacher is basically modern day Conan. If you've ever read the Conan stories, it's really just the same fucking thing. Yeah.
I read the book. I worked with the guy who since passed on when I was an apprentice electrician. He goes, "You like to read? Read this." And I felt like I had to read it. So he gave me the first Reacher book, which was season 1. And I loved it. Killing Floor, I think was the name of the book.
Killing Floor. Yeah. A buddy of mine has read a few of them. And he was so disappointed that Tom Cruise was Reacher in that movie or whatever. It's like, I never really watched it. I tried watching it, but it was kind of boring for me. But he was like, no, Aaron, you don't understand. Tom Cruise is not Reacher. Fair enough. And then the show came out, and he's like, "That's Reacher. That is exactly." I was like, "Okay, I like it."
I forget what it was, but I was on vacation, and I was like, "Let's try this Reacher show." Me and my wife, and I think it was like 11 o'clock, and I think we stayed until 6 o'clock in the morning just watching the entire season, which I never do. I never do that. Ask my wife; she gets annoyed because I'm like, "Okay, I'll watch a show. Okay, I'm good for the week." Because I like to think about the show, but Reacher,
kind of hash it over.
Put on the next one.
Yeah, and normally I like that, or I thought I did, and then I was watching, I think it was Invincible, or even Reacher now. I'm like, wait a minute, is this all that's out? Like, what happened to the rest of the one? And then like I wait a week. Like with Invincible, I'm like, I go back after a week. I'm like, okay, is there another one? There's not another one. Well, when's the next one coming out? So I can't keep up with it. It's like, choose. Are you going to put it out all at once? Or are you going to put it out once a week? Just don't screw with me.
Well,
because I'll forget about it.
Yeah, I think they weren't sure with Invincible, so they just released, and then they saw it's a hit, and now they're going to time release it, which is smart. You know what I mean? If you have a monthly subscription,
I really like it. I know that they changed it. I've kind of seen a couple of people, videos, people talking about how like they race swapped somebody or whatever. But
in Invincible.
Yeah, but I didn't read the original book, so that has no influence on me, and I just enjoy the show.
Yeah, I read the original comic. I'm a Robert Kirkman fanboy, so anything Robert Kirkman, I buy.
He also did The Walking Dead. Is that right?
Yeah.
So man,
after the Walking Dead, I get anything by him.
Just a phenomenal career. Get real, dude.
But if you read the comic, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But the big shock happens around issue 7. So you've been reading for 7 months. And you're like, it's just Peter Parker, Spider-Man, as if he was Superman. And then all of a sudden, the big shock in the comic, in the cartoon, they put the big shock like within the first one. But I think that was smart to keep people watching.
Yeah, you got to hook them. Yeah, you can't have a slow burn on something like that. Not only that, but because with Invincible, one of the main hooks for me was like, they were trying to represent what it would be like if superheroes were real, and like the effects of the human body. If like when he goes to save that girl or that lady and he flies away with her, and her fucking body gets all mangled,
Yeah.
because not invincible, like she's not
Right.
super tough and all this stuff. She's not strong and all of that. She's just a person. And
Right.
and I thought that juxtaposition was really was kind of unique, because you don't really see that in any other superhero stories. Like the real difference between being tough as shit and compared to a regular person, like I cannot be shot and expect to live,
I was just reading this today, Justice League number 2.
What is that? Nice. Okay,
Justice
that's a
League
classic.
this is number 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Speaking of, I finally read this after having it in my box for a couple of years. But one of the things that's driving me crazy is the Flash is running at light speed through town, fixing everything. I'm like, everybody should be getting hair on fire at the very least, thrown into walls, but I guess
yeah.
1960
or like, what was it? What's that one show? The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys.
Yeah, A-Train just annihilates that lady. Boom, completely gone. I think that's more interesting than some of the stuff where like, oh, all those superheroes are bad or whatever. Like this is what it'd be like if they were really superheroes in real life. I don't know about that. I mean, the way they set it up, they're all made from corporate labs in anyways or whatever. So, spoilers. But I like that juxtaposition between normal people and then super people. So maybe that's why I did the in Immortal Rising, I got the first level party and then the 30th level party, so I like that because it feels more real to me. I like really see it.
I like a nice blend of realism in comics. Like I like the Invincible because, like you said, but I don't want to watch The Boys because I'm tired of what if superheroes were bad and jerks? And then it's just like torture and indulgence porn for an. I guess I'm too old for that. I read the Boys comics because I'm a Garth Ennis fanboy, but I'm never gonna watch the show. I'm just tired of it. That's why my comic is gonna be realistic in the fact that, like, if a superhero gets punched through a wall, you're gonna see like blood on the back of his head. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna try to incorporate real physics into a super, but they're gonna be the good guys are good guys. I don't want to see jerk superheroes. They kind of do it to watch me.
And that's one of the things that I like about Superman is that he has morals and ethics. Like, all that power, you have to have a high sense of morality, or it's going to be bad, So
that's why I love
a good writer should lean into morality and know about ethics,
That's why I didn't like Man of Steel. When Superman showed up, people were afraid. I was like, this guy fundamentally misunderstood Superman. So good point. I thought that's why the DCU failed, because if you fundamentally misunderstand Superman, then anything,
you don't get it.
Superman is the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm not like super Superman fanboy or whatever, but I really like the character, and I liked Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yes.
I liked Zack Snyder in general, but and I liked Man of Steel, but it has its problems, this and that. First of all, Kevin Costner's character was retarded, so that was really dumb.
Maybe you should have saved those kids that bus, Clark.
No, son, don't do it.
Never say that.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, that's the whole fucking reason he's there. I'm sorry, I'm cussing so much.
Smallville, I watched like 3 or 4 episodes. I was just like,
I have a friend who's
too slow.
He really enjoyed Smallville. Yeah, and I found out that kind of do a little circle here. That Reacher guy, he was Aquaman in Smallville, I think.
Oh, was he?
So yeah, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He looks it. He's super muscular, but he's got that square jawed blonde hair look that Jason Momoa doesn't have.
Right.
I like Jason Momoa. That guy's got like movie star appeal. Like, guys and girls will just pay to watch him in a movie theater. He's just charismatic.
I don't get it. I don't really.
But he's not Aquaman. He's not Aquaman. He's Lobo. He's the only guy on the planet.
He's Lobo.
Makeup to play Lobo, and they make him Aquaman.
How the hell did they not make him Lobo? I agree 100. And I thought that at the time. I was like, first of all, he looks like Lobo. Like,
Right.
and second of all, not like Aquaman at all. Like,
I think
you know,
Momoa would rather be Lobo. Cigar
well,
smoking, riding a
he's got
motorcycle.
that natural, air about him too,
Yeah,
where he's not really taking everything serious. It
that's
doesn't feel like
because
he's taking everything serious.
let's
And
face it,
that's what
comic book
I
movies are
didn't
made by
like.
people that are embarrassed by comic books.
Right. Yeah.
You
Or
know,
they don't even read them.
they don't
They're
get
not
it,
even
and
into them,
they're embarrassed by them. Like, oh, it's a comic book movie.
which is crazy, man. Like, just do it right. Do it. John Favreau knew, from my understanding, he knew exactly what he was doing when he did the first Iron Man. Look what
Absolutely.
it did.
Iron Man gave me the chills how good it was. To tell me
Yeah.
that scene at the end when he just goes, "Yeah, I'm Iron Man."
Yeah.
And then the music kicks in and the words go up. You're like, "This was awesome."
Yeah.
I can't wait to go out and talk to other people.
Yeah. He had a great arc. It was a very personable arc, where he comes off as super egotistical, self-centered, rich, spoiled, kid or whatever. And then by the end of it, he's still kind of that, but at the same time, he's really been humbled, and again, he's thinking more about like morality, what is good, and he wants to do good. And I was like, that's great. That's a really good arc. Let's see some more of that. Let's get back to that. Look what they took from us. So I don't know. I didn't watch Quantumania. I haven't watched, I don't know. I haven't watched a bunch of. I can't remember the last one that I did see when it
I
was like
forget who I
new.
was saying this to, but I'm like, if you went back in time and told me that, oh, listen, there's going to be an Ant-Man movie in the movie theaters and it's going to do $1 billion, I would have been like, wow, you're lying to me. And then if you said, oh yeah, by the way, a couple of years later, there's going to be an Ant-Man movie and you're not even going to go see it in the movie theater, I'd be
Didn't.
what?
Well, I learned my lesson. What was it? I think it was Ant-Man 2. That bad guy, that ghost chick or whatever, that was it was a terrible bad guy. I wasn't interested in her at all. It was, oh, she's tortured and really she's not a bad person. And it's like, no, people, we need to talk about evil. It needs to be in our conversations when we're talking about heroes. Like, if a hero isn't fighting evil, then, and trying to sacrifice himself for the greater good, then what the hell is he?
I forgot that movie even when you said the second Ant-Man movie. I'm like, isn't that Quantumania?
You were thinking of Quantumania. Yeah, exactly.
Ghost was in that. Well, wait a minute, there was a second Ant-Man movie. I forgot about that.
I learned my lesson on that one. I was bored to tears sitting in the theater, and
thank you, John. I don't know what to say. I always get a little embarrassed when people super chat. I thank you.
The $5, yeah, that's so nice.
It is. It's nice. Super nice. Thank you. Everything goes towards making my comic. Thank you. Every drop helps.
So what do you got going on then? What kind of comic are you working on?
Oh, okay. This was your hour. I was going to talk about, but I'm making a comic called Heroic Tales. Okay, and it's one issue is definitely coming out. Whether or not issue number 2 comes out depends on if people like it. But I hired Renzo Rodriguez. I got a colorist. Nick Axe now is helping me with logos and graphic design. So I got a great team of people working. So it's my love letter to Marvel and DC in the 80s. It's the first issue is featuring the Patriarch, and the Patriarch is, he's a father in a secret. Well, he doesn't have a secret identity. The day he got his powers, he was involved in a superhero fight. So, and that kind of messed up his life. That's around issue 4 or 5. But he's a guy. He's a father. So he's trying to make the world a good place to raise his children and everybody's children. So he's so they're like, oh, what are you, the Patriarch? And he's like, yeah, I am. And the name stuck, and he embraced it. So he's a good guy.
Oh,
he's a classic good guy. And
first of all, great. Can I just say, interject here? Sure. Great title, because that is going to make people melt. Oh my God, the patriarchy.
Well, I don't. Well, now I'm going to talk about this, but I stopped talking about it because I kind of made up the character as a joke years ago. I'm like, I'm going to make up a superhero called the Patriarch, and and then the more I talked about it, the more I really liked him. I think he's this. This is Renzo doing. We were doing a drawings of him, and this is his chest symbol.
Oh, nice.
And his power, and I didn't even realize it, but he has the male gaze. Like he has, instead of supervision, like he gets vulnerable when he does this. So he goes up above the clouds, or he'll like hide someplace, and he literally sends out his senses, almost like an astral projection, and all 5 of his senses could go anywhere that he concentrates.
Seriously,
so he's always
wow,
going back
that's
here,
pretty cool.
checking up his family, or he's checking up a villain, or he's checking up over here. But when he's doing that, his senses are literally gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he could smell.
So he has to get away to
right,
do it.
but
Yeah.
that's one of his things is I don't want to give it away, but he's not as powerful as he portrays. He comes off as a Superman guy. I mean, look at this. This is sketches that Renzo did.
Nice.
He comes off as a Superman, but
he's got the pose and the physique.
yeah, that he's perfectly he's cultivating that look. Now, just imagine your dad or your friend's dad or whatever. Like when you were a little kid, you never knew that mom and dad struggled to pay the bills. You never knew mom and dad were like worried about Christmas. Do we have enough to get? Mom, everything is fine. So that's what he's always doing. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And then he'll go away and just be like, oh, you know what I mean? So there's going to be there's going to be a super genius villain who figures it out.
I just want to say this. The fact that you have a superhero with a family is so unique and great. Thank you for doing that.
Oh,
because
cool.
that's one of the things that kind of bothers me now that I'm older. I'm like, okay, I understand Peter Parker, he's got a responsibility, power, and all this stuff. But what about the father of a family? Like,
right.
Are you kidding me? Like, so much rests on and obviously mothers too, but I'm just saying the father of the family, a lot of times the household, revolves around him and his choices. Even if mom runs the house or whatever, it's still, like the patriarch, it still is an important role. And it's just something that hasn't really been addressed in superhero comics. They're usually single, or they're practically children themselves. Like Marvel just totally dropped the ball when they didn't let Spider-Man grow up, get married, and have a kid.
Absolutely.
Like as far as we know, they didn't, because they keep relaunching it and redoing it, and it's like I'm tired of seeing Peter Parker stuck in high school and college. Like, does he ever grow up and take on real responsibilities of being an adult? Or is he just always going to be swinging through the city at 21, trying to hide his boner in skin tights?
Well, Chuck Dixon said that with comic books, we have to have the illusion of change. And his example is like, people comic book characters have to change. And he's just like, well, you don't want Superman to be a 90-year-old guy, do you? Because that's what he would be if we went. So it's the illusion of change. He goes, but even Chuck Dixon, it's that there are points that creep the continuity. Like the death of Gwen Stacy really advanced and changed the status quo and aged up Peter Parker a little bit.
Yeah.
So I always look at Peter Parker as the natural progression is Aunt May. We all love Aunt May. She's sickly, but the purpose of Aunt May is to give Peter Parker, Spider-Man, this dilemma. Like, oh my God, I got to get the medicine to Aunt May, but I can't fight Dr. Octopus. So he has to. It's a responsibility. In my role playing game, I would give him a weakness like a dependent. He has a dependent. So if I was writing Spider-Man, if I was the editor of Spider-Man, I never would have done one new day or whatever that I read. He would marry Mary Jane, and then Mary Jane would get pregnant, and then right before or right after the birth of the baby, Aunt May would die for real, and then the baby would have some sort of problem because of the radioactive blood. So now instead of I have to get the medicine for Aunt May, I have to get the medicine for the baby. I got to take care of this baby. This baby needs help, or you know what I mean? Because weakness, but the illusion of change. Everything's still the same, but there's a progress going on, and they miss that. It's true. Nobody wants to see Batman get married. Batman is the eternal loner, but I think everybody wants to see Peter, because Peter Parker is the everyman, where Batman is the loner psychopath.
He's the Sigma grinding. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and everybody loved the Spider-Girl series. That was a great series, Marcus. You're absolutely right. And to get to your point, if I could talk about my character again.
Yeah, of course.
Like I feel that all the fathers, especially in Marvel, have been getting the shaft. Like the things they did to Reed Richards. Reed Richards is the patriarch of Marvel Comics. He's the head of the family, and they've been treating him
family
like since like 2000, maybe even more.
Is that right?
Rid of him, Invisible Woman's running around with Prince Namor behind his back, and then
Really? Shit.
yeah,
She's stepping out.
disrespectful to him, and now they're making him like almost like the mean father figure that all of these childless weirdos can't stand because they hate their own fathers over at Marvel.
Yes.
So I was
That's aggravating.
and then Cyclops, they made him a deadbeat dad. Anybody that's a father in Marvel Comics, because Cyclops used to be my favorite until I know they retconned that, but still they made him a deadbeat dad. He chose to leave and go back to Jean Grey when Madeline Pryor had a baby. He didn't know she was the Goblin Queen. He made that decision. So I'm like, I want to make a character that's a father the way father's supposed to be. It's kind of an homage to Superman, but it's also an homage to my dad who made the right decision, struggle. I'm sure my dad didn't want to work overtime every freaking day,
Oh,
so
dude.
Patriarch is working overtime. He doesn't have a job. He's a full-time superhero because with his senses, he could be like, oh, the satellite's about to fall. He'll get the satellite and then take out the rare metal. You know what I mean? Like he'll scavenge, he'll go into the ocean and take out some jewels. So his family wants for nothing.
Well, I mean, you gotta like pay the bills. So why not take all the precious metals out of that falling satellite?
Right. they got to eat, But at the same time, well, I don't want to give too much away. But something happens, and they're also survivalists. So they live out in the mountains of Montana that you can't access. He got rid of all the roads, so you have to fly to get to his family.
No, wait, survivalist or homesteader?
Both. He's got a farm. He's got cattle. Well, not a survivalist because survivalist is, so he's a homesteader. He's got.
I just think of like, in his underground bunker, and he's got a knife, and, he's real sweaty,
Yeah, he's got solar panels. His wife homeschools his kids. He's got 7 kids. And then that's going to cause problems.
7 kids? Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
we homeschooled too.
I'm one of 7, so I was like, he's going to have 7 kids. So, and that's going to cause a problem because the oldest kid is going to be like 18 years old and just be like, Dad, I have no friends. Dad, and not to give anything away, but villains, since he doesn't have a private identity, villains have attacked him and done some damage to his family.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, you could go. He's like, Dad, am I your prisoner here? Like, so it's going to cause a dilemma. He's got superpowers, but the problems are going to be indirect family.
Yeah.
So does he's a good guy. He's not going to keep his kid.
That sounds terrific. I really like your the angle you're coming at with that. Do you have like a time frame of when you think it'll be done?
I would like to launch. I got 5 pages. I just got to get them lettered. I'm getting some coloring done, coloring touches done. I got logos work, so I just want to get the full cover. I want to launch maybe I think February 1st is and then
whoa. And
then I'd like to get the second issue if it's a success. If you guys like what I guarantee you, if you buy my comic, you will like it. That's my personal guarantee. And I'd like to make like tchotchkes. I want to like make like these coins, pint glasses, T-shirts. Just fun stuff.
Anything you can.
Party,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm super excited. And then the second issue is going to be about a different character. The third issue is going to be so I'm slowly going to build the Avengers. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to introduce.
Well, who else do you got? Because if you got like your Superman-ish kind of character. Well, actually, I want to ask you before you answer that. Sorry to 2 questions at once, but
I feel
where
bad
did the idea? That's all right. Where did the idea for like the Patriarch's powers come from?
Again, we were talking about role-playing games. I play a role-playing game called Villains and Vigilantes. Okay, it's a superhero role-playing game by Fantasy Games. It came out in 1982.
Is that like Palladium?
No, it's before Palladium. I think, and believe it or not, Bill Willingham and Dan Panosian and Patrick Zurcher all did art for this game back at the when they were like 16-year-old kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
that's
good.
cool.
Really got to look it up. It's really cool. I should show off those modules. So I've been playing this game with my buddies for years, and just like we all say, we should make a comic book based on our characters. So I took all my NPCs because I don't feel I have the right to take my friends' characters and turn them into superheroes. So I took all my MCP, like leveled them up to non-player to player characters, and I always like to do a little twist. So I can't tell you what the Patriarch's powers are because I want you to that's like going to be a plot point. What can he actually do? You know,
Okay.
and one of the bad guys, as he's being taken away in the cuffs, he goes, "You're a fraud." You know, and Patriarch gets a little, again, because he's, you know, Dad doesn't let you know that we're having trouble paying the mortgage this month. As far as the kid, you play with He-Man and you have an innocent childhood. You know,
Yeah.
that's his thing. So, and in issue two was going to be issue one, but I realized it was kind of a hard sell because it's, you know, a little bit more of a crazy character and a little bit more world building. Patriarch with, you know, fighting and bank robberies and stuff, I think is a more friendly entry point. But issue two
it'll grab you a little bit. Yeah.
is going to be Mary Sue. And Mary Sue is the perfect
That's her name?
girl. Yeah, her name is Mary
That's
Sue.
great.
She's Chinese American. Her grandparents escaped the communist purges of China and came to America in the 50s. And then
there we go. We'll take them.
Little supermarket. Her parents turned that supermarket into, you know, they started a little grocery store. They turned it into a supermarket chain. So now she grew up. She's beautiful. She's tall. She's exotic. She's perfect, you know. And she's also,
I like it.
She's also Roman Catholic. She's a good girl, and she goes to college. Yeah, and she's kind of getting teased by all the other girls because she's not joining fraternities and stuff like. And she's a, you know, she's studying. She's, you know, and then she joins this group of Catholic scientists. They call it the St. Thomas Society, and you know, then through.
Are you Catholic?
I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
I was an altar boy and everything.
Nice.
You know, I'm not very religious, but it's funny that my first two characters are religious. But
yeah,
but I'm not anti-religious. I just, you know, I like that. The Patriarch is Greek Orthodox.
Right.
Mary Sue is Roman Catholic, and then in issue 3, I'm going to introduce the Raven, who is an atheist. He believes in nothing. You know, so I'm
nihilist.
A nihilist would be giving him too much credit. He just doesn't think whatsoever. He's just like a creature of passion. And then I think around issue 7, the Charles Xavier of the group, the Misfits, he's Orthodox Jewish. So I try to make every character like real diversity. They're going to be different than me. You know, they have different viewpoints than me. None of them are a stand-in except for the ugly villain. That'll be my stand-in. You know,
I don't think there is. There any? Are there any like super Jews in superhero books? I don't think that
Kitty Pryde is Jewish.
Kitty Pryde is.
Ben Grimm is Jewish.
Oh, that's right. He is, isn't he?
My second favorite character of all time.
Yeah, Ben Grimm.
But other than that, I can't really think like. And that's another thing. Nightcrawler was a priest, and then they kind of like made him a joke, you know.
No, isn't he like gay now or something? Or like he came from 2 women or something like that? I don't know.
Aren't all the X-Men gay now on the moon? You know,
that's what I keep seeing, like, you know, on Twitter. It'd be like, oh, look at this ridiculous, you know. And that's why I don't read you know, the mainstream comics.
I quit Marvel and DC in 2015 and I never looked back. Yeah.
So what I did was I'll go or I used to, I don't anymore, but there for a while I was trying to catch up on comics because I stopped really reading. What is that one? Coney
Waves.
Nice.
You know? Renzo's
I missed out on that one. I didn't get that one yet.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with everything. You know, that's why I like having
There's
people
so many of them. I'll tell you, and my son is a great he's a great like bellwether for okay. What story do you like? You know, and like he really likes this one, Follow Man. He really
I never saw that one.
Yeah, we got Follow Man, and then I got Follow Man 2 over here, but we haven't read it 2 yet. So because he wants to do reviews. I don't know if you saw in the chat, Derek. Derek's in the chat. He does Ballad of Celestials. Me and my son did a review of Ballad of Celestials. And it was, I think my son may be a natural. So,
cool.
So now he's like, hey, Dad, he's 8. He's like, hey, Dad,
comic reviews.
He did well. Actually, he did it when he was 7.
That is like awesome. Because that's
he's totally into it.
That's one of the things that I blast all comic book creators is we're not making comic books that are kid friendly. My comic book is going to be kid friendly, but it's going to be kid friendly in the way that you know, the Great Darkness Saga by the Legion of Superheroes was kid friendly. You know, it's a comic that I loved as a 10-year-old, but as a 55-year-old man, I'm like, this was awesome. You know, Star Wars was kid friendly, But Ben, and we still have that grotesque image of the smoking Aunt Peru and Uncle Ben, or whatever that is. You know what I mean? Like, I remember my friend Andrew when we saw Empire Strikes Back when that ice creature hit Luke. He got up and ran down the theater screaming, and I still laugh at him to this day. But that's kid friendly. You know what I mean? Kid friendly.
Yeah.
Kids aren't dumb, and you don't have to pander to kids.
Yeah, and actually, with Immortal Rising, I don't cuss, and I don't have a lot of gore. There is some blood, but it's not like gory, like guts falling out or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, well, there is a part that is a little gory, but it's not played into a lot. There might be a panel that shows a serious wound or something, but that's not the whole point. Is that it's gory, and I don't cuss. That kind of stuff. I just didn't want to do that. I was like, I don't know.
I don't want to do it. Marcus Kellegrew, my moderator over here, if I hit a stretch goal, he's going to do a backup called Unheroic Tales. It's going to feature the origin of one of the bad guys.
Whoa, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so it's going to be 22 pages of the superhero, and then if guys back it so Marcus could get some comic book work, it'll be 8 pages backup of the bad guy. And there's one panel that I wonder is probably not kid friendly, but I think it works in the context of this is the bad guy's origin.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of your bad guy? Because you've got some good names. What's the name of the bad guy?
He's the mayor, Lucius Kane, because I don't think I'm spoiling it by saying the politicians are the bad guys.
I was gonna make that comment, but you beat me.
like it's such a comic book trope. I have a general bad guy, a general, like an army general. I have a senator bad guy. I have a banker bad guy, because that's comic books. You wonder in the Marvel universe, how does anything get done when every senator is corrupt? Every banker, every businessman is the worst. And every politician is in Lex Luthor's pocket or something like that. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, is it that far from reality?
I know. So yeah,
let's go look at Congress. Let's go talk to them. Can we fleece them and take a look at audit all their books? How are you getting so much money?
That they moved to is Science City, and it was they broke the ground in 2001. It's the city of the future. So, of course, the bad industrialists, the bad politicians, the bad bankers all helped build the city. So it's just literally built into the city, and then because of the high tech and everything, that superheroes are always there. Now villains are always there because that's for the bad plan. So I was thinking, like, why does Gotham always attract all the crazies? Because Manhattan exists in DC world too. There's got to be something special about Gotham. So I built it into the city itself. Why it attracts all the good guys and bad guys.
Do they ever talk about that? Like they have Arkham Asylum. Even.
It was like cursed by like a bat spirit in that Arkham Asylum book, but I don't know if they still. That's the problem with DC. Is DC, you get invested in it for 5 or 6 years, and then they just toss everything out. It's like the opposite of continuity. Like every time they try to fix continuity, what they're really doing is saying this continuity doesn't matter. There is no continuity.
Yeah.
Like I understand. Like in this comic, Justice League number 1, they reference stuff that really doesn't make sense in 2015. So you just quietly ignore it. You know what I mean? You don't just toss out the baby.
That's aggravating. That I was saying earlier. I went back and was listening to YouTube channels where they talk about the comic. They show you the pages and they talk about the plot line and stuff like that. And some of them are really good, very entertaining and real great. Just like a quick catch up. And so I got to see some past story arcs and stuff, but I don't know. I don't want to, because it's like they just reset it all. They just push the button and reset it all. So you're gonna tell me, all this shit that happened to the X-Men in the '90s when I was hardcore collecting, none of that matters. You got rid of all that.
It's funny that you said that, because like it'll never happen. My dream as a child was to grow up and write the Fantastic Four. I wanted to write the Fantastic Four. So now I'm channeling, the Fantastic Four in other ways. But even if Marvel asked me, I would say no. But let's just say they were like, please, you have to. We're sinking. I don't want to see Marvel Comics go out of business. You know what I mean?
And I hear that they're like, oh, they got to burn it all down. It's
right.
Like,
so if it comes down to like, dude? Listen, buddy, like I'm flattering myself, like it's either you do it or it dies. But in that particular circumstance, I would take over Marvel Comics, and I would have to acknowledge all the bad comics, because we saw Misery, right? Remember when she goes, no, Jane was in the ground, she was buried. You can't change that. You can't just say it was a dream. You can't, that's the way I am. Like, we have to acknowledge all of this bad Krakatoa.
It's got to be continuity.
It's got to be continuity. So my solution is Mad Bomb. We got a Mad Bomb Marvel. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
no.
When Jack Kirby took over Captain America, the Hydra guys, they made up the Mad Bomb, and the first Mad Bomb was called like Buttercup or something like that, and it had the power to drive everybody in a city absolutely crazy. So Captain America had to, and then the second bomb was big enough to take out like an entire state, and then he stopped it before he could build the third bomb, which would make like the entire continent. So there was 3 Mad Bombs. So unbeknownst to everybody in my world, this is how I already have the story written. Marvel steal this idea. Is Carol Danvers is having these, everybody starts to acknowledge, why do you look like a man sometimes and then sometimes you look like a woman? Like, that, make that part of continuity. And she's like, you saw that too? She goes, sometimes like I feel like aggressive and then sometimes I don't feel aggressive and blah, blah, blah. So they do DNA tests and they find out that she has 2 sets of DNA in her body. Okay. Because of her origin, Captain Marvel jumped in front of her. The Omniwave blasted through her and imprinted Captain Marvel's. So she literally has, and sometimes when things are out of control or whatever, when she's using too much Kree powers, the Marvel, and that's when she'll look masculine. So they like, you have cancer, just like he had cancer. You're dying. Your DNA is trying to protect you. So they literally get like Reed Richards, whatever, and they take the DNA out, and now Captain Marvel's back. Brings back one of my characters. They don't do it like, but now he doesn't have the personality. He's just, like a super intelligent.
That's I think, in my opinion, that sounds like a very unique idea. I don't know that that's been done before.
So now he's back. She doesn't have the cancer anymore. He's like, so like Xavier's trying to fill him in on the gaps. And then Captain Marvel, because one thing Carol Danvers never had was the cosmic sense that Marvel had. That's one power that she never displayed. So Marvel just like, do you guys all realize that you're being manipulated? This energy, I could see it with my cosmic senses. Like, is this normal? And like, what are you talking about? And he flies and he finds the 4th Mad Bomb. And it's
what? I'm going to start using that when like I can see shit that other people can't. Like in a situation, I'd be like, my cosmic senses are telling.
Well, he has cosmic senses. Like that's one of his powers, is he can't be tricked, and he can see. So he detects this energy that's going out, and he diffuses the Mad Bomb. And now everybody's like Scott Summers in the middle of making out with Wolverine, and they both just go like, what? What's going on? Oh my God. And now all of the superheroes, like X-Men, are just like, have we been
they're all gay? Damn it, you just went right back to what they're doing already.
And the X-Men are just like, have we been supremacists, like threatening the world and people in Wakanda? Like, we have the cure for cancer, and we said we're not going to give it to anybody until and everybody realizes all this bad stuff, and now they have to go on like a worldwide apology tour, like reestablish their, because you can't just say it never happened. You can't just do a reboot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for like it or not, comic books are Legos, and if I didn't like your blue Lego, so. I don't just get to pull it. I just have to rebuild it around it. So
yeah,
there you go. Mad Bomb Marvel. DC, I don't know how they could fix without another Crisis, but whatever. Marvel, the Mad Bomb.
Crisis on Infinite Earths was like the beginning of the downfall for DC or something like that. I haven't read it, so I don't know.
No, I'm going to de-trans Captain Marvel.
Trans Captain Marvel.
Of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, it succeeded in that it drew in new readers to DC.
Yeah.
But it failed in that it didn't make the continuity easier. There's still ramifications. And the funny thing is because DC had a multiverse back before the multiverse was cool. They had Earth 1, they had Earth 2, they had Earth 3, Earth S, Earth whatever.
Yeah, they've had forever, haven't they? Like since like the 50s or 60s.
Every time, because DC, that was I think National Publications, that was their idea, was to buy other publishing companies and buy out all their competition. They bought Quality Comics, they bought Police Comics, they bought Fawcett Comics,
Yeah.
So, but they were smart enough not to just transpose them into their regular continuity. So they were on a different planet. And everybody understood that. Everybody looked forward to once a year, the JSA and the JLA would get together and team up. And it wasn't that confusing. But
Right.
somebody convinced them that it was confusing. They did the Crisis on Infinite Earths. It all blended together. And now Roy Thomas's head melted, and he tried to. Well, who was the Golden Age Superman? They half-assed it. If you ask me, they should have started all of their comics over at one, and instead they're retelling the Great Darkness saga. They're retelling all like no, let them go, and your writers come up with new classics, and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And then the old timers, who I want to apologize to, they were walking into DC and be like, "You invalidated all my comic books. I'm done. I'm not buying anymore," and left. So the old timers got a little. And now the funny thing is, I'm an old timer, and I'm like, they're invalidating my old comic books. I want to apologize to these guys, that because I was like 1984 going like, yeah, well, they're finally good. DC Comics.
Yeah.
And
that's
what
DC, some of the younger guys are doing now.
Every time the sales go down, they just reboot it again. And all it did was to condition me to realize nothing matters. And I know I got friends of mine that are just like, well, the current storyline is all that matters. If it's good and you enjoy it. But comic book people are prickly pears. We're kind of obsessive compulsive. We want read them in orders. We want to beg and board them, and
it's true.
This is a full run. I want my number 1 to 600. I don't want 1 to 27. Then rebooted, then volume 2, and then So
look,
I
it's
think
it's a nice non-violent OCD.
Right.
That's wrong. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like since like 2015, even before, because I quit in 2015. So I actually left before the whole woke era. I was annoyed because of disregard for continuity, constant reboots. Like they would make characters and like this isn't this character. This is like I remember what's his name?
That's not who I know. Yeah.
Ta-Nehisi Coates had the Rhino in one, and I'm like, this isn't the Rhino. Rhino's Russian. I don't know who this guy is. Like, is this another Rhino? And then I just thought it was like, do the work. Have a little bit of respect to the, like, you think you know better than Jack Kirby. So I got annoyed, and comics would get too expensive. And thank God I left. Can you imagine if I witnessed it
and had been giving them money for this long, and like still getting a fucking ulcer because you're so upset at what they did with it. Get real. The
story I always tell.
But they don't want you anyways.
Right.
They don't want your money anyways.
Like I say, I'm an asshole, but I'm not the asshole who goes where he's not wanted. I'm perfectly happy being an asshole in my basement. And I'm not going to go to your house to be an asshole. But the story I always tell is I get my comics from Discount Comic Book Service, because when I was working in Queens, when I was living in Queens, there was no comic book store around here. And the UPS guy would drop off a box of comics once a month. And one day he dropped off a box of comics, and it was huge. I spent like $400 that month. There was comic books and toys and everything. And my poor wife just happened to see this guy. So she's trying to carry this box up a 3-story walk up, no elevator.
Fainted.
Boxes ripped, comics. Luckily, my nephew saw it and helped her. She was like in tears, opening up. And I'm like, I'm a little embarrassed because I didn't want her to know how much comics I was kind of hoping it would get delivered before. And then I open up the box and I'm just like, I don't even like these. Like, now my wife is crying. She carried these freaking comics up the steps. I open up the box and I'm just like, Iceman's gay. These aren't even comics that I like anymore. So I literally right then and there, I didn't order anything new. So whatever I pre-ordered, I paid for.
And it's not that I'm against like a gay Iceman, but the point is like he wasn't gay before. Right. Why did you make him gay? Just make a new character, and
that's because the Mad Bomb was affecting Jean Grey, and she used her telepathy. Mad Bomb explains it all. Yeah, Mad
Bomb explains it all.
Jonathan, you got that right. You got that. You don't know
New York asshole.
You don't know how much. Yeah. And this is my buddy Matt. Matt's another New York old school punker over here.
What's up, Matt? I've seen him on Twitter.
Yeah, old school skateboarding punk rockers.
Nice.
I keep joking that back in the 80s, I probably did a stage dive on top of him being all skinny and me being all fat.
You were a fat guy? That's funny.
Yeah, I always joke, when you hit 200 pounds, you're not allowed to stage dive anymore.
Shit, in my 20s, before my 20s, I was really skinny, and it took me my whole 20s to gain and keep weight. So like when I hit 200, when I was like 28 or something like that, I was like, yay. Now I'm not light as a feather.
Yeah, I think I hit 200 pounds in 3rd grade,
because it's 6'3". You have to have weight on you. I'm just saying, you have to.
Yeah.
There we go. What's up, Rex?
So let's. I got you got me talking. You got me monologuing. You sly devil. It's one of my favorite lines.
You got me monologuing.
That's one of my favorite lines in all the movie. So tell us more about Immortal Rising. So your first issue I could still get, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
That's on my storefront on Fun My Comic, and I will be offering it again with that variant cover on the second campaign, which I haven't nailed down a deadline on it yet. I still need to go because all right. So issue 2 is like 90% done.
Okay.
And we have to go back. Me and Jose have to go back because we did it out of order. Like I said earlier, I had a different artist do issue 1, then I had Jose do 2 and Knights of Locutus, and then I was like, well, the continuity, the continuity in art is just way off because Jose's art is stellar. And the other one was more, amateurish and stuff like that. So I was like, I need it to all look the same. And, it's more professional. It's more, people will appreciate that. So I was like, hey, will you do that? So he did number 2 first, and then he went back and did number 1.
Okay.
Well, skill, practice and all that stuff. His skill changed and increased from 2 to 1. So now he's going to go back and he's going to touch all the art up. Make it look more like 1, which it's not like way off or nothing, so it's not going to be real bad. But he's going to like change like some hair or something dumb, and then I'm going to go back and cut out a bunch of excess dialogue that's not needed or whatever, and just edit it down, get it nice and streamlined and polished, and then I'll be confident enough to release it. But
I had a talk with Tonic Ball and Terry Moore, and one of the viewers asked,
I know I've heard of Tonic Moore, or I've seen him around, but I don't know.
Tonic Ball has a comic called Saving the World. I love it. It's a fun comic, and I started to realize I think nobody does dialogue better than Tonic Ball. He's really good with dialogue.
I should check it out then.
Now that I'm watching my own comics, I'm trying to see how my dialogue sounds. But anyway,
right?
Somebody asked him like, "Are you going to go back and rebirth?" And both of them at the same time, like, no. Like an artist will never. If we go back and start working on our old comics and re-edit them and we'll never be done. He goes, at some point you just have to go forward. So,
yeah, definitely.
I could see what they're talking about.
Only 64 is right there. Look at that cover.
How many pages?
Well, with everything included, I think it's like, was it like 52 or something? Wow. I don't know. Yeah, because it's the 10-story or the 10-page Knights of Locutus story. Along with like 34 pages of the Immortal Rising with the main group and all that stuff, and then put that together. Plus, because the super nerds love it, we've got that little map, right? All the fantasy nerds love the maps.
I got a philosophical question for you then. I said I love fake maps, and somebody said it's not a fake map; it's a real map to a fake place. So, is it a real map or is it a fake map?
It would be a real map because it would be a map, but it would be to a fake place. Yeah,
right. Yeah, so it is a real map. So I stand corrected.
It is a real. So but look at that. I don't know. It's on Fun My Comic.
Yeah, we're looking at. Hold it up. There we go.
One second.
No, I expanded your screen so we could really look at.
No, I got to cover. This is a spoiler page. Okay, so there we go. You don't pay attention to Red Eyes 4. So this over here, just the composition on that page, it's really great because it just it carries your eye around the panel. Just the way that he composed it. It's just, I don't know. I really enjoy working with Jose.
He's a good guy. He's a phenomenal talent.
He's super busy and all that stuff, so he probably barely knows I exist anymore. But I will say that
when he does work for video games too.
Is that right? I don't know. And I know he's worked for basically everybody, every major studio. I'm pretty sure he's probably done animation for. But one of the things that I quickly learned working with him, thankfully, was to stop describing everything. Don't describe everything. Just so what I try to do is I set up the purpose of the page or panel. Then I talk about who's in that panel and the emotions that they're supposed to have. And so, then he takes that And if there's anything that needs to be talked about, like, you know, a feature or a certain, you know, like a castle or some shit, then I kind of describe that a little bit. But I just let him position it, angle it, whatever he wants to do. He composes it all, and I love being able to trust him to do that, because it's really nice that I don't have to worry about doing that. You know, it's like, I am not the guy who knows Dutch angles. Like, I don't know what that means. You know, I mean, I kind of do, but you know, but he does, and he knows when to use them. One of the things that we got a compliment on from like at least 2 or 3 different people, one in person and then a couple of reviews that I saw on YouTube, was he does an onomatopoeia, and I don't want to spoil it, but the way that he does it is just like the beats. He picked up on my beats perfectly, and drew it really well. And
I think he does animation too. So yeah, he's a, you know, I think he has that timing and rhythm, everything. Yeah, he's a talented guy. Because one of his comics has all the video game characters, has like Link and then Metroid and all.
Really?
And there's no words to it, so this whole comic is just comic book art conveying a story. I keep looking over here, but I put it away already. And I was like, how did he do it? 8-Bit Adventure. There you go.
Yeah, I got it right here because I'm about to.
I was like, how did you do that? Like, and he goes, well, I worked in animation, so he's friendly with all those people, so he got, you know, so, you know.
Really?
Yeah. But look at that. There's no words in that entire book. So that book.
Yeah. Well, I
English.
was like, hey, do you want to read? I was talking to my son. I was like, hey, do you want to read a comic? He's like, sure. So he picked up that one because, you know, it looks very cartoony and stuff, and kind of kiddie. And then he starts reading through it. He's like, Dad, there's no words. But he's like, no, it's fine. It's okay. And he kept going through it. And
it tells a story.
He really enjoyed it. Yeah, it still tells the story visually. Like, that is so cool.
That book made me a fan of his, because that's one of my things. And you know, because it's just me and my wife in the house, I go over with her to the point where she's like, oh God, not again, because she's not a comic. like Renzo will give me back the pages of my comic, you know what I mean? So they're colored, but they don't have any word balloons in them yet. And I'll tell her, tell me the story. And she's like, what do you mean tell me? There's no words. And I'm like, so I give her the 5 pages that I have, and she will tell me the story, you know, missing a few things, because there's certain things you can only tell in dialogue, like names and whatever. But she's telling me, this guy does this guy does it, he saves this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's storytelling. Storytelling is the art telling a story. There's this, because there's a lot of comics, and I hate to say this because I don't mean to be mean to anybody, but there's a lot of crowd-funded comics that are a static image of a guy in a cool guy pose. And then the next is a static image of somebody, and there's nothing connecting them. You know what I mean? Like I was saying to my wife, like, a comic book is like a film, in that a film, old school films, are little static images that convey move. But a comic book has less of those images, but they have to have a continuity, panel to panel.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm explaining the Z frame, and like, again, to be mean, like Howard Chaykin. If you take out the words to a Howard Chaykin comic, it makes no sense. You can't figure it out. And when I saw Jose Garcia doing that 8-bit, he told a phenomenal story without a word. It's
without one word.
You know, and what is it? 100 pages, 80 pages? I forget.
Yeah, it's a thick boy.
Yeah, so
for sure.
You got yourself a talented guy, because there are guys, and I keep looking because I don't want to pick up the comic. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. There's a comic over here where each panel is a masterpiece of art, but I can't. The story was so dense because each panel didn't connect to the panel before it.
Oh,
and it was really jarring. The storytelling was off. So that's why I like Renzo. Renzo is great with he could draw a sexy girl, he could draw a vampire, he could draw a monster.
Yeah.
But he could also make the story at each angle and Jose could do that. So you got yourself a really good talent.
You know, and what's funny is like I was saying, I met him before I even knew about Comicsgate. He's the one who told me about Bancroft and all that stuff. And and you know, a couple years later, here I am, kind of thing. But I met him, I want to say either like in a Facebook art group or maybe even like an art site. I randomly saw his stuff and I'm like, that is great. I want that. And I didn't know, because it wasn't laid out. It was like he had done some commission, some medieval commission work kind of stuff. It wasn't even storyboarded. So and it was just like a static image. And I was like, but I really like that design, like just that whole technique and everything. So I was like, let me hit him up and everything. And it's just been I think I hit a home run without meaning to.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
just
but
like
now
that.
it's like, well, I've got a gold star artist.
Right.
Don't lose them, you know, do what it takes to keep him.
I know if Renzo doesn't want to do my comic anymore, I don't even think I want to do my comic because he has such a classic superhero look. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what I would do if he didn't want to do Immortal Rising anymore. I'm not sure it would be the same, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And he has told me, you know, gentleman's agreement that he's like, look, because this story is unfortunately it's not a one shot. I know a lot of people like the one shots. It will be a 3-book story, but I am also doing it's called Immortal Rising Tales. Like I did Immortal Rising Tales #1. It's just a supplemental. It's not the main story. That was in Anvil magazine #2. That Dracula getting, you know, Dracula fight one. It will be Immortal Rising Tales #2.
Okay.
That's also a supplemental.
I didn't read it yet, but I got Anvil.
Yeah, and it's Anvil magazine #2. It's Baphomet's Child is the Immortal Rising Tales story. So cool. I do want to do like the Dracula story will be like a 20-page just one shot. So I do want to offer one shots in universe, and so that you don't have to buy the sequential story. You don't have to.
Right.
Obviously you're gonna want to, but you know,
that's
you don't
what
have
I'm doing. My comic is a self-contained story. It's like a Marvel comic. You're gonna get a full story beginning to end with the resolution.
Yeah.
But if I make it, you know, again, guys, God willing, I don't want to do construction anymore. Buy my comic, you know, by issue 10, you can be like, this is a grand story arc. You know, the way Marvel used to be. Like Chris Claremont will seed something over here, and you're like, oh,
yep.
Okay. But it's going to be, you know, because again, crowdfunding, I understand people don't want to back something and then like, it's part 1, but is part 6 ever going to come out? You know what I mean? So I'll wait. Well, the fact that you're waiting means it's never going to come out because, you know, so yeah.
Well, so, all right. So I came up with the story. I said, I'm going to break it into 3 parts because it's so massive, and it's really not a massive story. It's just, it takes a minute to tell because, you know, a fantasy setting, you know, it takes time to get used to being in that setting. There's a lot of characters, a lot of moving parts. And so I really thought that the 3 story or the 3-act structure story worked well. I could say a lot, introduce the full, idea of the universe that it operates in and all that stuff. And instead of trying to force it all into one book. So I'm happy with the way I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll say that, sorry to interrupt. So I want to say that
it's your hour, man.
With the first campaign, I think we made like $5 or $6 grand, and that's great and everything. Mostly paid for printing, and plus, if you buy on Fund My Comic now that the campaign's over, you get the stretch goal. So there's like 8 stickers or something. There's like an ad card, and there's even a magnet. Logo magnet.
Let me ask
that
you,
kind of stuff.
I'm just curious because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm fishing for information.
Yeah.
Did you do a digital tier?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
Because me personally, I'm an old timer. I don't want a digital tier, but the fans want what the fans want. Do I offer a digital tier? You know,
I would say this. Kind of the way I look at it is that 1, not everybody can pay shipping for
absolutely
a book.
Yes.
2, not everybody wants to buy an unproven brand. At the highest tier or whatever. Like they want to kind of like get the lowest that they can just to get a taste kind of deal. Yeah. So unless you have a way, like for instance, my buddy Chris Fisk from Infinitale, on his website, he gives away like 15 pages of the story. You just sit there and flip through it and read it and be like, okay, I want that, which is something that I really want to do. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, offer a digital tier. In my opinion, that's what I did. And I've had people get the digital tier and then get the physical on top of that. And I'm not sure if maybe they didn't know. I didn't know if they got the digital and didn't know that they got the digital. But
are you a fan of Pandora? Because I put on Pandora at work, and I'm like, that's a great song. And next thing
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
buying a record from a band that, you know what I mean. So I'm listening to it for free. I got it free, but I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I guess I'm doing a digital tier, but I just have to change my thinking. And I also want to acknowledge ASE presents another $20. Wow, this has been a
Whoa,
very
nice.
educational and entertaining. Thank you. Making the cool art panels feel really sequential is a big challenge. It is, and it's tougher than you think, and it's more important than you think.
Yeah.
Having take it from me, an amateur who doesn't have a comic book out, so take it or leave this information. But I have read comics for 40 years. If each panel doesn't have sometimes you got to draw that unsexy guy holding opening the door with the doorknob, or or a guy like walking down the street. You know, all the things.
Yeah, it's not all
you don't need
poses.
3 pages of people drinking coffee, but you might need the guy flipping a light switch on everyone to make a sequential art, because that's what comic books are, sequential art.
Yeah, it's 3 pages of them sitting in a diner bitching about the patriarchy.
Right. Yeah. That'll be my stretch goal. 40 pages of the patriarch sitting in a coffee shop ordering muffins. How's that?
There we go.
I've taken some of these notes down for improving my comic arts. Thank you so much, Ace. And send me a direct message on Twitter, Zentorian2000 yahoo.com. And if you got a campaign or something, you want to talk comics, let me know. And I'd also like to say this funny thing. Ace has given me 2 super chats today of a total of $40.
Yeah, and I think he bought my comic.
I've only made $43. So today you have just doubled my revenue, and maybe I could get over to the $100 and actually get some money from YouTube. So unless this is linked and it's going on your channel, in which case, yeah, you're still a good guy. You're still a good guy.
Yeah, thanks, Ace. I think he said that he bought the comic earlier. He's just making it rain out here.
Yeah, making it rain. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to show my
I do know, and again, I feel bad because I didn't know your comic, but I still would like. I'm still enjoying it. But now that I know it's Jose Garcia, I'm back in as soon as we're done, because he's a phenomenal talent. I don't know about your writing. No, I joke around this thing. People are gonna buy my comic because of the art. People are gonna buy number 2 because they like the art in the writing.
Yeah. That's what they say. It's like first they buy it for the art, then they come back for the writing. So
right.
I will say that the reviews that I've gotten, people, they say that it's good writing. So I'll take that. I'll humbly take that. Thank you very much. So I have heard that a couple of times people went back through to kind of because what is it? Just because they had I think it was T Bunny, telepathic Bunny. He was
he was just
Cooper. He was like he's like, I had to go back through it and reread it to kind of like see, because it has the different elements to it, right? You got the gods, you got the this, but he didn't say it was confusing, so that's good.
Well, that's good. He was interested enough to go back and figure out something that he had missed. If he had just read number 2, said I didn't care, you know what I mean? So that's
right. He liked it enough to reread it. That's a good point.
Because there's a few comics where I'm like, where'd this guy come from? I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to go back, and it's not worth going and digging out the comic out of it. But most of the time I do.
I mean, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for some comics, so I get it.
Yeah, I wanted to say, if you're a fan of Jose Garcia, we might as well give him a shout out. He, if I think it's on Indiegogo, I forget where, but he has a comic called Lumina Vox. And Lumina Vox.
Actually, I think that might be on Fund My Comic now as well. I think
okay, so go to Fund My Comic and check out Lumina Vox, and you could also get that 8-bit story as part of a.
Yeah, dude, he had like a mat. That's why I've got so much of it sitting here, because I was just like, okay, here's the Jose pile. It was like 4 or 5 books, man. It was ridiculous. Yeah, and I want to say that he's got Lumina Vox 2 out as well, but I'm not sure.
I have Lumina Vox 2.
I got to read through it.
Yeah, I think I got like a late pledge because if you're on my channel, the least I could do is buy you comics. You know what I mean?
I wish I could buy all the comics that I see. I know. Like, I mean, I feel bad because I'm like, man, that looks great, and it's like, I can't do it this month, or whatever. So, but yes, that's one of the reasons. Not only that, I don't always have time to sit and read through the comic, but with my channel, that's why I want to bring more value to the the comic book indie comic book marketplace by showing reviews. People are like, I wish people would review, and leave reviews and that kind of stuff. So what I was thinking of doing, and it probably isn't going to be a big hit, but Joe Sontag does his appreciating comic book art, and he'll take out an old issue of something, and he'll sit there and show the pages as he flips through it. They discuss the pages, the panels with the chat and all that stuff. I enjoy it. It's a good time. I want to do that with indie books. I want to sit there and just kind of flip through page by page and check it out and share it with whoever wants to hang out and watch me do it. Might not get a lot of looks, but
I've been for 3 years. I've been doing what I daily showcase. I just take an old comic out of my collection and I just talk about it because back when I started, it was still like the crazy times of COVID, the way back, as they say in Beyond Thunderdome. So nobody was going outside, nobody was hanging out, and I was like, so I was just talking to comic books with my 3 or 4 viewers, and now here I'm talking to you. So and my caveat is I only showcase comics that I like because I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. And with new comics, I don't feel I have the right to show all the pages. So I'll show a couple of key pages, you know what I mean? And I always ask permission. I just got this. The Hunters by Jim Palmiotti. This was phenomenal. This was awesome.
I don't know that one.
On Twitter, if you would mind it. So I don't want to show it off until he gives me permission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a pirate site. You know what I mean? I don't want to give away. But 5 years and older, I'll show you a whole comic. So I follow you both on Twitter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't fault me for being an e-girl. I don't even know what an e-girl is. I'm reviewing comics now because I'm trying to become a colorist. Okay, cool. Good for you. That will, one day. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. You just allowed me the means to buy Immortal Rising today, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sure. That's great.
Anything you want to say? We've been talking for, I can't even believe it's been an hour and a half. This literally seemed like 10 minutes.
If you guys are interested in a new channel to look at people. So all right, on my YouTube channel,
What's
changed it's Immortal Rising Comics.
Okay.
And if you're on Twitter, just go to my profile. You've got my Fund My Comic link and my YouTube link. I do what I'll do, like I was saying before, I'll have my co-host Chris from Infinitail Comic, and we will have a couple of creators come on, and I started doing trivia based on the genres that the guests were working in, and then we do just try to, the whole point of the trivia is just to make a bunch of jokes, and so we joke around for like a half hour or so, and then we talk about their products, and sometimes it goes into different conversations, kind of like here. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes, most of the time it's just laughs, because that's the whole point that I was trying to go with my channel for the past.
Do you have a regular time? Like once a week, twice a week?
Yeah, they've been coming out on Saturday at noon or something or I guess noon my time. So I think 1 o'clock Eastern. And
because I think center of the universe, so everything has to be Eastern Standard Time.
I base all my whenever I do an announcement, I always do Eastern. EST,
and I yell at my friends. I go, "The UN here, therefore it is the capital of the world." So that we.
Oh no! Get your blue helmets. No, and so. I think the next one is with Richard Embry, because I like pulling different guys from different aspects. We got Richard Embry. He does most of it is fantasy, but so Richard Embry, he's got the was it Blood and the Sword or something like that, and the other guy was I think it was Black Wall. He does RPG stuff. Okay. So I bring in a lot of tabletop guys. I bring in a lot of comic book guys. Sometimes indie music. Like Evely Music, Iron Age writers, quite a few Iron Age novelists. Cool. So yeah, it's pretty fun. So if you're interested in fantasy, sci-fi, all that stuff, from Iron Age, Comicsgate, there you go, Blackwall. What's up, dude? And and that show will be coming out tomorrow. It might be my last one with guests for a minute, just because I really want to try, because I get like 30. Maybe 40 views on a video and stuff, which is nice. I really like that I have, regular viewers and stuff like that. But I kind of want to mix it up. I want to add more value.
Right. That's
so
the eternal question. What can I do to get more people you know.
Well, and I just really,
And I
it's
don't,
like,
and I'm not, I don't want to do like an OnlyFans, and I don't want to be like the drama farmer either. Like,
yeah,
Immortal Rising
like,
stinks. These are 10 reasons why. Click. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that either. I try to.
Yeah,
be
here's my top 10 reasons why everything
Yes.
sucks. Yeah. No, I don't want to do that.
And I guess I could attack the big guys too, and whatever. And a part of me thinks that's what Eric July and Ethan Van Sciver are doing. I think that behind the scenes, like, things are getting quiet. Let's start a little drama war. You know,
I don't know. Yesterday or last night or whatever, I said a few things to Eric July because he got on my nerves by picking on a friend of mine, and I got singled out of, I don't know, 50 people or whatever. And he tried to make an example out of me or whatever. I don't know. He'll reframe it, of course, and to make himself the good guy. I don't know what you're talking about. And anyways, I just kept, on him. I was like, no, you need to answer, this and that. And it's so exhausting. It's like he's the type of person, at least in my interaction with him, is he will constantly reframe, shift, and sophist his way until you get exhausted and walk away. And that's how he wins or whatever.
That's the online way to argue.
Yeah, he sees it. Yeah. So, and I don't want to sit here and just bash Eric July.
And I'm not going to bash Eric because
and actually, I'm glad for his success. Like, great, good for him. But
he came
at the
on
same
my channel
time,
when I had like 300 subscribers. So
really,
that's
I'm
what
very surprised.
Yeah. I that's been my philosophy. Is just ask everybody. What are they going to say? No. People say,
yeah.
So I Ethan came on, and then the next week Eric July came on, and what am I going to do? I can't say anything bad. These two guys came on.
I've never asked EVS to come on, not for any particular reason. I was just like, he's not going to listen. I think I might have tried DMing him one time. What's that?
Sophist is a good word.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite words, but for some reason, I just didn't think of it. But yes, sophistry is what a lot of these online arguments do.
Yeah, it's just
Eric
sophistry.
When Eric came on, he went right into sales mode, which is fine. That's exactly, he's a salesman. Sell product.
He's definitely a salesman.
I wish I was more like that. And and right then and there, like, he just started talking, and when I'd say something, he would pivot and get back to selling. So I was just like, I'm going to make him laugh. My whole goal was to get, because I've never seen him laugh. By the end of the interview, if you go watch it, he was wiping his eyes laughing, and people
really.
I've never seen Eric July laughing before, and I felt like a success. People
nice.
Like, I've never seen him like that before. So I'd like to think,
I broke him.
Think fondly of me come back. Yeah,
that's good. That's real good.
It's everybody has that, like, the zealot follower someday.
Yeah, that cult of personality stuff or whatever. Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm more of like an individualist. I like EVS. I like Eric July. I got no problems with any of them. But I'm also not going to just blindly follow either. I got criticisms. No. I saw them that, I'm not going to blast them for everybody to see.
Yeah, I've seen the criticisms because I didn't buy it. Yeah. But not for any particular reason. It just didn't look interesting to me. And it's like, ooh, some of the things they're saying, it's like, makes me not want to buy it. And I know there's people that directly hate him for whatever. I don't care about all that. It just doesn't look interesting. So, well, nothing against him.
Before the comic even came out, people would talk bad about the comic.
Yeah, exactly.
So that
I want to be on his side. So I'm not like,
and I want the worst guy ever. Because a rising tide floats all boats, and if we could get a lot of people to look in our direction, I look at him as Jupiter, and then I'll be one of these, like, Pluto. I'll come in. I'll
still in the solar system, though.
Yeah, I'm still in the solar system, baby, and I'm still a planet. You can't call me a dwarf planet. I'm a planet, baby. So I want to. I like that Cyberfrog is making 400,000. But
for sure.
To me, it shows me what we're capable of. Now, will I get there? Absolutely not. It would be nice, but
well, I mean, you got to look at it like
if the top dogs are making $7,000, you know what I mean? It's like, then what would we do? Make $200? But it's not worth it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it's like, one of the points of the conversation that we had. It had to become a conversation because it wasn't one at the beginning. But anyways, one of the parts of the conversation was like he leveraged like 17 years of being an entrepreneur. He kept, doubling down on that, and then was able to launch a book.
Right.
EBS has like, I don't know, 20, 30 years.
Industry, yeah.
Yeah, in comic books. And yeah, of course they're gonna make, big money and stuff like that. So the way I look at it is just kind of like it will take time. Like you said, you've never even heard of my comic. Haven't even heard this comic.
I got
and then and then look, and then it'll be okay. I'll check it out now. And meanwhile, it's already been out for a year. I know it's going to take time. Not only that, but that's just on YouTube and Twitter. I haven't even hit conventions yet. I haven't even begun to make a name for myself.
Wow.
Like I'm not in any. I need it right now. No, this is a marathon for me. I plan on selling this for the rest of my life.
Cool.
Like I plan on creating
conventions. Because to tell you the truth, I haven't even begun. I got to get my comic out first. Before I can speak about convention. But I that would be fun. Go to comic book stores.
I want to throw this at you. I don't know. Sure. I want to get your idea. So one of the problems I'm having is that it's this beautiful, high quality color book, and it's got 80-pound page. I mean, it's beautiful. What the problem is that the price makes it you can't get it. A 50-page book in a comic book shop is $8, and I can't sell this for $8 and do anything with that. So in fact, I don't even think it'll pay for the printing. So my idea, and I want to hear, see if you have any ideas on this or opinions. I was thinking of cutting it from 50 to like 25, like find a break in the book where I can cut it, make it black and white with a color cover, maybe even do like a smaller size, and then sell that do a black and white grayscale kind of stuff, and then sell that for like $2 and put it everywhere. That's I'm thinking about doing
in Diamond, get it in comic book stores.
No, not at Diamond, but at least to first I would try it out, right? Like I would try going to local idea.
I don't know
local tabletop stores, comic book stores, giving them like 10, being like $2 a piece or whatever, because it is black and white. So like not everybody's going to want to pay a lot for it. So anyways, yeah, like that's like alternative. Yeah, some similar to that, except for I think they use like newspaper. I think.
Yeah, they use. I love the alternative printing. It's like the closest to old school comics.
The old school stuff, right?
Yeah. Like,
so
ideally, that's what my comic will look like. It will look like it was printed by Alterna, is what I'm hoping.
What's also very old school? I don't think I have it sitting right here. Wait 1 second. Sorry.
No problem. I don't know what to say about
this
that.
One. Jupiter is
who is that?
Jason Sandberg.
Okay.
So
is that Mayhem Comics? No.
No, that's just his Sandberg Publishing.
Hold that up. Yeah, I've seen that before. That looks really good.
You want to talk about a good salesman?
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Watching Jason sell was one of the highlights of like having one on my channel, and we were on Shane Davis's channel together, and just seeing him get in, like he'll get, like you were saying, how July is like instant salesman kind of deal. That was Jason. He's like, and you could tell like he has experience, like maybe door to door or something.
I get a little embarrassed trying to sell my stuff. You know what I mean?
And I'm like, I feel dirty. I'm like, I gotta get that salesman kind of deal going on, better. But
I tried to get a job at a PC Richards years ago, like selling stereo equipment and stuff. I couldn't even get the job. They were like, sell me a stereo. I was like, yeah. And I was a stereo. It wasn't like I was selling used cars or snake oil or anything.
Yeah. Do you know anything about stereos? It's like, well, they sound nice.
I just don't have that, you want this, you want that. I feel like a phony, even though I know my comic's good.
Yeah, well, that's that. What's that called? The imposter syndrome kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and you just got to keep walking through it. Like, I mean, I never wanted to be on YouTube on screener. I was like, man, I don't want to do that. Like, one, it's like I'm not scared of public speaking. Like,
Yeah,
I got rid
like
of that a while ago in my life. But at the same time, you know, it's pretty labor intensive to sit here for 2 hours and talking when I have other things I need to be doing as well. You know, so
watch my
but
first
I
interviews,
enjoy
you'll
this.
see me like you know, it's a skill you got to develop like anything else.
When I first started my channel, my idea was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do quick interviews because not everybody has time to sit through an hour and listen to people. And so I was like, all right, I'll do like 20, 30 minutes. That didn't last long.
No.
It seemed more like it was me wanting to not have to, you know, spend that much time, you know, on an hour.
It's hard to say, okay, we're done now. Like I try to do an hour, and here we are almost to 2 hours. You know?
Almost 2. Yeah, I try to do an hour, but it'll go to an hour and a half like that.
I can see when people are itching to leave. You know what I mean?
A
lot of times I'll be like, hey, you want to end? Like, if you see around an hour, I'm like, it's been an hour. Do you want to keep talking? You know?
Yeah.
I give everybody an hour.
I'll keep John. So you gotta.
We got 2 windbags over here, and I'm on vacation, so I'll talk till Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I know. I'm still hungover from vacation. I'm like, I need to go back to work. I don't even want to go to work, but I need to go back to work.
2 weeks off, and it's gonna be cold. You know, I'm a construction worker. So it's gonna be in the mud. You know,
oh shit! Yeah, construction work. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, Marcus was on. I kept him up till almost 2 a.m, and he had to go to work in the morning.
Oh no!
And Marcus, after he left, Nick and I talked till 6 a.m.
Shit. Nick who?
Nick Axe. Nick Axe. He's right now. He's on with on Telepathic Bunny's channel right now. He's
that marketing guy.
Yes, he does. He does the covers, and I think he's doing some of the art for the Fourth Age for RJ for Crom the Destroyer.
Whoa!
But the guy knows everything. He does logos. He does graphic design. He could design websites. You know, he owned an animation studio in his youth. He's got like 20, 25 years experience. The guy, he could write, he could draw, he could do everything about a comic book himself. So he wants to make a comic book in the future. So, you know, I reached out. He's helping me out. You know, he's doing all like writing a script, finding an artist, and then seeing the artist. That was all easy and fun. And then people like, what about your pre-press guy? And I'm like, what is pre-press? Like, I didn't even know that was a step, you know? So I was reaching out, and Nick acts like, yeah, I'll take care of it. So reach out.
That's
to
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to watch that show.
I felt like I was 600 pounds, and now I'm down to only 552 pounds.
Is that right?
But anything you want to say? I'm going to go have dinner now. Speaking of food.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's end because we went to end like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, we tried to end 3 times, but that just shows you it's a fun conversation.
Yes, we're good. I'm done now. Okay. We can end it however you would like.
We'll put up the link to Fund My Comics
before we go.
Immortal Rising #1. It's in demand right now. You can still get it. I haven't read it yet, obviously, but I do know the art of Jose Garcia is awesome. So if that doesn't sell it, then you know.
Yeah, Jose Garcia doing fantasy, dark fantasy. You know, dark fantasy. Sure, you know, don't mind that at all. I mean,
if he reminds me of Jose, his art to me is like manga and Mobius. It's like a love child of manga and Mobius. Let's look at that. Yeah, look at that. I mean,
come on, dude.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
I hit the wrong button. You last question before we go. You said your son, does he read Western comics or does he read manga or does he read both?
He reads he reads the indie comics that I get. Otherwise he likes Dogman.
Okay.
That's his jam. My daughter, she's 12. She reads manga, or did for a while. She doesn't really read manga anymore. She's more into novels right now. So
okay.
But yeah. You know, the manga thing, I really think, I'm sorry. One of the things that we were talking about continuity and stuff is manga has continuity in a beginning and an end, you know, like
beginning, middle, and end, and then they're done. And then they move on to something else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of 600 issues of Spider-Man. I like that there's a whole story. It just drives me nuts. So but then again, that's what I grew up with. We all like what we enjoyed as a kid.
That's true.
And I don't dislike manga. I just don't know it well enough. But I do know that it's well crafted. Art is glorious. And these people are passionate about it. These creators, they won't let anybody change it. When the anime comes out of the manga, it's like a 1-for-1. These guys. And then when the woke crowd was telling the mangakata, is that the word, how to change they were like, we sell 17 million copies a month in Japan. The America is an afterthought. We're not changing it to please Americans. You guys.
That's gorgeous. Do that.
So I respect them. I just don't know enough about it. But anyway, we're talking about Immortal Rising. Oh, and I hit here we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's anime manga, kind of.
Right. Like I said, he's got like a beautiful mix of European comic art and Japanese art.
Yeah.
So,
man, I'm so lucky.
Yes,
go check it out. Go buy it and check it out. If anything, just get the digital. You're fine. You'll still like it. I mean,
and it's all there. And you're going to be launching.
Listen, you hear that? You listen to the thick on that page. So yeah, it's quality book. In my opinion.
Yeah. What is this? I think the comics give the reader and that they bring. Yeah. Scholastic, I think, is really floating Marvel and DC these days. And I think I think Scholastic posted their first loss in this last quarter. So even that is ending.
Well, quit making comics about butt sex.
Yeah.
Sorry to be rude.
Now you're asking for the impossible. Well, I never thought that I would be, in talking that DC Comics is making a comic where the Green Lantern is soliciting anonymous gay sex in the wharfs. How have I fallen?
He's in the airport tapping his foot.
Yeah, I know.
In the bathroom.
and then the writer had the nerve to defend that they weren't prostitutes. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
really?
They were sex workers.
Yeah.
Sex workers work too. Like, all right, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys understand this is not appropriate for children, right? Like, can we get this into your head? This is not appropriate for children.
But it's in Scholastic
that will not
magazine.
Be happening in Heroic Tales. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's just not. It's unbelievable. Are there editors? Is there oversight? Like, what is going on?
It doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's Glory Hole is going to be
Glory Hole.
There we go. Gay Lantern versus Glory Hole. There we go. Me and you. Let's work on this comic. We'll put it on Kickstarter. It'll
go new bad guy.
Yeah.
Glory Hole.
All right, but before I go off into the weeds even more and get more inappropriate, go check out Immortal Rising #1. I always said Marcus Keller grew, but Aaron is the writer, and Jose Garcia is the artist. Phenomenal talent, and I don't know what else to tell you. Thanks a lot. You can hear my voice is giving out now. I guess 2 hours.
Yeah, that's fine. We can end. I just want to say real quick, everybody that bought tonight, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really hope, and I do think that you will enjoy the art and the story. It's if you like fantasy stuff, I wanted to basically put a fantasy novel feel in a comic book, and I think that I did a good job. So please go buy it, enjoy it. If you get it on Fun My Comic, you get like the 8 chibi stickers, you get the magnet logo magnet, and there's like an ad card that I put in because I got funded so well that I was able to do those cards as well for like conventions or whatever. Like I put them in some role-playing game shops and stuff. Anyways, you'll get all of that as extras just for helping me out and backing, dude. I love it.
Cool. Stretch goals are fun. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm gonna go have my dinner.
Thanks, John.
No problem.
Bye, guys.